just went to the hairdresser today and I feel very like icy platinum, like ice queen vibes. Isn't this like really cool? But that's not what we're going to talk about today. Today we are going to talk about the new collection from Arttitude Cosmetics. They are coming out with the Equanimity. This palette and two different highlighters, which they say is in their new baked format, which is really exciting. And I actually for once have already swatched everything before I get into it, because I was swatching some b-roll for the Bella Beauté bar video that just went live on Friday, so check that one out as well. So I decided to swatch this one as well. This one I'm pretty sure is launching on July 24th. You can use my discount code Angelica with Arttitude Cosmetics and save some money and get some money off. And this palette is, the owner put up a really sweet Instagram note, so check out her Instagram about what this palette means to her. And I thought it was super sweet. So this is what it looks like. It's a very, like she describes it, like joyous palette, and I really enjoy the color story in here. There's a couple of shades that I'm dying to combine, especially this one and this like dark burgundy down here. I overall think that there's a lot of really cool shades and really cool combos to be had in here. And I gotta say, me and Arttitude Cosmetics have almost like a 180 view on like layout with shadows, and I always am so impressed with the layout that the owner does with her shadows, because I'm always like, you know, thinking about like what goes together, where should the different shadows be, and hers is just so inspiring and unexpected, and I am in awe, and I'm so jealous of the way that she puts palettes together. I think it looks absolutely incredible. I'm so excited about this. I do not know the exact pricing of this, but I will try and make sure to put that in the description box so that you can check that one out. I'm gonna do two different looks today. I checked my YouTube channel and I've never done a dedicated Arttitude Cosmetics like video. I don't know why. And this is what I mean with like new Angie. I was gonna say 2.0. Listen, we're like 4.2 or something. But I wanna be the person that does more indie videos again. They don't get a lot of views, I understand, but I love doing this. This is why I continued with my YouTube channel in the beginning when I started, because I was so in love with the indie community. So I want to find my way back to that, and I really feel like 2026 has been just a great indicator for that. So let's celebrate my first dedicated Arttitude Cosmetics palette with me. Leave a comment down below on what your favorite Arttitude Cosmetics palette is so far. Maybe it will be this one once I've been able to try some of it. Let's dig into the highlighters as well. These come in two different colors. One that is more of a, almost like a striped one. It is like a pink going to a peach. And then one that is more of a like vanilla golden shade. These are really gorgeous, and they have more of a, and I don't mean this in a negative way, they have more of a soft sheen, which I really do enjoy with highlighters, because it usually looks more believable in real life. So I do want to, if I can remember, I only have blush on. I do have the Singe Beauty Timid Tomato. Love this formula. I also talked to the owner of Arttitude, and she said that she really enjoyed this formula too, so thank you so much. It means a lot to me, and I am so excited. I'm gonna try the pinky, I don't know if you can see here, but it's like a pinky peachy highlighter today, and I'm gonna put it on the cheeks, because you can see there's a little sheen here, but it's only from the blush. So let's see what we can get. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes these sheens look so believable. They look gorgeous and healthy on camera, but they also look so believable and healthy in real life. There's a lot of highlighters that look incredibly blinding on camera, and they might look like a metallic eyeshadow in real life. This looks really beautiful. I'm actually very excited about that. So let's do the other side too. If the highlighter doesn't look like a wet look highlighter, I want to be able to have something that looks more like a subtle, believable sheen. Ooh, that is stunning. In the beginning of my YouTube channel, I had I was gonna say healthy obsession. Listen. I don't know about that. I had a healthy obsession with pinky and peachy highlighters on my channel. I made several videos about it. I absolutely loved it. So it feels very nice to be able to find some more peachy highlights. It's very light behind me, and it is because the sun is beaming, and it is starting to come around our house and start to come in to this room here. So I do have a little bit of a, oh my gosh, a little bit of a deadline from when I need to be done, because I usually film in the morning and then the sun is, oh my god, that is not it. The sun is on the other side of the house. But now I'm filming in the afternoon because I went to do my hair and the sun is about to be beaming on me. So that's why it's so bright and light behind me. Love that. Okay, what I want to do for the first look is that I want to use this one, and this one. I really feel like these three together, and maybe even a bit of this. I'm not 100% sure. Do I want to do that? No, I might do yellow, blend and darken with this one. If you didn't know, a yellow and an aubergine or like a dark burgundy together, usually really, really beautiful. So I'm hoping it's going to be beautiful today as well, because we have people coming here for dinner and I want to look a little cute. So this, and this. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I lowered the settings at least a little bit for like zoomed in so that you can see something. Look at how gorgeous that looks. Just soft and beautiful, but still beaming. Really enjoy it. I'm gonna start with the yellow spirit, and as you can see, I'm gonna just go in with this a little lighter, just to start as a transition shade. I usually don't do this, but because I know how a yellow and an aubergine will blend together, I choose to put this down first, but I'm doing a sheer layer. I'm not packing it on. When I swatched this palette, I did notice that there were some of the shades that swatched and felt a little thinner and slightly almost, I don't want to say transparent, but definitely not like fully like opaque. And I don't know if it's like because it needed more pigment in the formulation, or if it's just packed in a weird way. Sometimes ratios can be a little bit off and you end up with something that's just feeling a little different. But some of the shadows feel incredibly like, you know, that have that beautiful grip to it, beautiful pigmentation, and some of them feel a little bit more sheer. So for me, it's very important to try these out and see how they feel. This yellow definitely was one of the ones that felt a little sheer when I swatched it. And I can even tell, even though, again, I am putting it on sheer as well, I can also tell that it's a little less pigmented than some of the other shades. But I mean, still, that does look beautiful. Now, this is the shade Anchor, and we are gonna start with the outer corner. And I'm tapping this off because I don't want it to be all over my highlighter. But you can already tell that this one is more pigmented than the yellow one. It is really hard actually to do a pigmented yellow. It is one of those shades that's, the brighter the yellow, the harder it is. And now I'm just gonna put this a little bit into the crease here. Not all the way in, but like maybe to here. And now comes the tricky part where we try and shear this aubergine out until it kind of makes sense in the yellow. It is gonna turn the yellow to a more mustardy brown, and it's gonna turn this edge a little grungy. But I usually love how these two kind of shades work together. I'm going in with a smaller brush and a little bit of the yellow, and I'm just gonna be buffing on the edge. You can already tell here that it's like turning into a little bit of a grungy, mustardy situation. So this is basically where we're gonna end up. And I might spend more time to like finick the edge and make sure that it looks good. But you know, what I always say is like, we're not doing it for the gram, we're doing it for real life, and nobody's gonna be this close to me. So we don't need to have perfection. We are looking for good enough. Okay, so I did a little bit of the same combo underneath here as well. And you know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take Serenity, which is this, like you can see here, it's like a peach pastel. And I think I'm gonna do that one first on the lid and in the inner corner, and then we're gonna do Equinox on top. I have a sneaking suspicion this is gonna be great. This brush is not clean, it's cleanish. Okay, so we're starting with Serenity. And I'm gonna put that. This is more of a, it's a little bit more of a drier shade. I think I would have preferred a little bit more grit in this one, but I will make it work. I will make it work. Putting it in the inner corner, putting it up here a little bit. I think you can see that it's like a little too sheer to be perfect. It needed a little bit more pigmentation. Yeah, that one was a little too sheer and almost a little too smooth to be like a perfect shadow for me. Because sometimes when they're a little smooth like that, they don't stick to the eyes and they work almost more like, you can see, like a setting powder than an eyeshadow. Ooh. See this though? That is pretty. Okay, let me do a little bit more of the anchor shade, which is the dark shade. And just... Oh yeah, that is what I wanted. It's looking so sultry. So I really want to do the ColourPop Charmer, which is this like aubergine eye pen. I think that's gonna be perfect. That looks so cool. I do really like the look. I think it's really good. I think the only shade where I'm like, it's the pastel neon, because I mean, I don't even know where it's at really. So this is the finished look, but actually I did end up having a little bit of a cry. Listen, it happens. I'm going through something not so fun. Will I talk about it online? Probably not. I hate talking about grief, and talking about grief with a big crowd sounds like my type of torture. Everybody's different. Some people think it's so therapeutic to talk to people about, not me. But because of that, the inner corner highlight like literally just disappeared. So I thought, why don't we use a little bit of this white Nabla liner, and then we'll put the neon on here so we can get it to be a little like intense. Does this one have a mirror? Oh, it does, it does, it does. Okay, I'm just gonna shear the white out a little bit, and then I'm going in again with Serenity. I feel like that is helping. Oh, I didn't take the plastic off this mirror. I'm like, why it's so wonky? I don't love having to finick with shadows like this. I do really love the burgundy and the peach shadow though. Those are beautiful. But finicking with shadows are not my absolute favorite. So I will say, now that I layered it on top of a white, now I really enjoy it. So here's the thing. Every time you try something and it doesn't work the way you usually do your makeup, there is always a different technique to try. And this one, I got to work with a white base. And I think now it looks really, really cool. So I am excited about this look. I had to, you know, maneuver a little bit, but that's why I'm here. I am here to show you the new makeup that's on the market so that you can make up your mind if you think it's for you or not. And also to show you and inspire you to try maybe new color combos or new makeup looks or whatever your heart desires, or to help you with troubleshooting. How do you get less fallout? How do you work with a shadow that doesn't want to work with you? What are different tips and tricks when you're starting to get hooded eyes? I try to be like a mix of those three. Hopefully I'm doing a somewhat okay job. Now let's get into look number 2, which I have no idea what it's going to be because I didn't think longer than this look. So you'll find out right now. Okay, back for the second look. And I first want to use the harmonization. I'm so sorry. This is the Goldie highlighter. I am just wearing the Cinch, the classic Cloudberry, which is this like neutral glowy blush. That's what's on my cheeks, but we are gonna do a little bit of this like vanilla goldy one, and we are gonna put a little bit on. Oh yeah, this is literally bringing out, like I said, almost like a warm, like vanilla yellow, but not like gold, more like a pale yellow. Oh, I actually really like that. I think that these are so pretty on the cheeks. I'm sitting filming in my studio, of course. I mean, you see where I'm at. And it is so warm today, and I didn't use the AC in here. I don't have AC, so I'm like, I'm a little bit warm. But I want to actually do another look with this one. And I want to do like a smoky lower lash line and a little bit of a mini halo eye. So I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to blend it up with this one, just showing how this color can go in different directions. And I'm literally just, I'm like mood playing, mood makeup. I'm gonna start with a liner though. This is Charmer. Yes, I want to make sure I get the right one. I'm gonna put that in my waterline. This is by Colourpop. And I'm also gonna put this on my lower lash line simply because I want this to be super dark and smoky. And I did already powder a little bit. And if you're worried that the shadow is not gonna stick, having a liner underneath and putting the shadow on top is gonna help you so much. And I'm also just doing a little bit here, because that's also where I'm gonna put the shadow. And I'm going in with the EO7 from Singe, and I'm just buffing this out a bit to make sure that it's even. So it's looking like that. And now I'm going in with Anchor. I mean, you know, can't see anything, which is just shadow. And I'm packing that one on. And I'm going a little higher. And I'm gonna put it underneath too. And I'm also putting it in my inner corner. Maybe not that much, everybody calm down. I'm putting it also in my inner corner. And I'm gonna put it around here. As you can see, I didn't put the liner here because I don't need it to be as deep and dark here. But I still want to have the shadow there. I'm a little bit annoyed at how much that turned out to be. You know what? I will figure that out. And just doing a little bit. Just like that. So with a smaller brush, I'm gonna buff a little bit on this edge, dragging it a little bit outwards. And same here, I'm just buffing a little bit. I don't want this to be bigger. I just want this to be like a little bit of a darkness over here. I'm gonna add a little bit more here. But I don't want that to be like a lot. Just a little bit. So I'm like buffing on it. And now I'm gonna go in with the shadow that's called Presence. And I'm putting that on the edge. And just buffing it a little bit outwards. And you can tell from the other look that I did with this color, it turned pretty like a grungy, aubergine-y, browny shade. But now that I'm using it with this like orchid color instead, we are getting more of that like pinky burgundy. I just wanted to show how versatile a color like this can be. I'm going in with a little bit more of Anchor on a small fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna blend and make sure that this is as dark as I want it to be. So it's gonna end up looking like this. I think that looks very, very sexy. Let me do that on the other eye too. Technically, I could use any of these shimmers in the middle and I would be totally fine. I'm kind of wanting to do mattes. Will you be mad at me? I want to try Energy. Listen, I love a good shimmer, but I love a good matte. And I kind of want to see what this will do. I'm feeling, I was gonna say experimental, but I'm feeling like I want to do a matte look. Oh, I definitely put more of the dark shade on this side, so I'm gonna have to adapt a little bit. As you can see, there is less on this side than on this side. So this is where we go in and we just add a little bit more of the dark. to make them look the same. I think that's gonna work out good. And just try and buff in some more of the energy. I do think that is, I mean, I love a good matte. You could literally put anything. Even some of the Patience, which is the light yellow. I wonder what would happen if I just put a little bit of this in the middle, just to really emphasize like the lightness. I think it looks so cool. Not perfect, but definitely good enough. Really like it. I'm literally melting. Can I say I am actually melting? Should have had the AC in, but I was like, no, I'm fine. I can do this. I was wrong. So I really do enjoy this palette, and I think if I were to, like in the beginning where I was like, is this going to be my new favorite palette from Arttitude? I think color story wise, I definitely think that this is probably my favorite color story from the brand. I love that it has a mix of light and dark. I love the different variations of shimmers. There's some different formulas in here. Loving the tones, how it's laid out. Quality wise, I do think that some of these mattes unfortunately are a little thin, like they almost feel like setting powder. I know that this is, I'm pretty sure that this is a talc-free formula, right? Yes, this is a talc-free formula. I'm pretty sure that other palettes are as well. And formulating talc-free mattes is the bane of my existence, so I totally understand why some of them feel a little like that, because it's just very, very hard to get them to be a little grippy. So I totally understand why it is the way that it is. I just wish that some of the mattes were a little less thin. With that being said, I don't think it's a bad palette. I just don't think it is Arttitude Cosmetics' best palette quality wise. The highlighters, I think that this looks beautiful. I think that this is like a visible highlighter, but still like melts into the skin and doesn't look too artificial on the skin. Because like I said, sometimes a highlighter will look absolutely incredible on camera and on photo, but in real life it literally does look like it just looks like product on your cheeks a little bit too much. That is just my personal opinion. I love something that's either a little bit more subtle or something that is a little bit more wet look. I like one of those two is more my favorite preference. Again, I do know that this is really, really hard to make as well, so I really do applaud them for creating something that is this beautiful. Really do enjoy it. I will put all information about this down below. I do have other palettes from Arttitude Cosmetics in my like multiple palettes, multiple looks videos. So if you want to see more Arttitude Cosmetics, there are definitely more looks on my channel. I hope you're having a great day. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, because I do upload quite a lot of makeup looks and playing with indie makeup if that is something you want to see more of. I do have another of my favorite indie brands that are releasing and revealing something real soon, and that might actually be the next video on my channel. So have a great day, and I'll see you soon.